Hello, my name is Grian and welcome back to another Minecraft tutorial. This time we're going to be making what you see in front of me here, a modern looking cafe that's freestanding, it's not attached to any other buildings. So let's get straight into it, shall we? We're going to start off by making ourselves a square. 18 blocks long on every single side, a perfect square. Even if we are going to be removing some of these blocks, it helps just to have it all laid out to begin with. So choose a side which you want to be the front, and from the right hand side, take out 3 blocks, leaving a pillar every time, and the final one on the left should be 4 blocks long, which is going to be our entrance. Then we want to raise up all of these blocks to a total of 6 in height, so that's an extra 5 on top of the ones that are already on the floor, and it should look something a little like this. Then we connect them all along the top so that we have our first bit of framework. Then we want to move over to the next side where we're going to do something similar, where we remove 3 blocks every time, except for the one at the end. Instead of having 4, we're going to have an extra layer of dark oak planks there. Once you've connected it up at the top, move on to the next side of the building, where we're going to start off this time with an extra layer of dark oak planks, and then a set of 3 gaps with pillars in between. The reason we have that extra bit is so that we know where the door is going to be on this build. This is the only side that is different. We're actually going to set in an extra bit of planks and make some space for some windows later on. We do need one solid side, and it will become apparent later on why we're doing that. Now it's time to fill in each of these holes, and it's fairly simple design. A set of green terracotta mixed in with some buttons on the outside, and then a full glass block in the middle of each, and a glass pane either side makes it have a nice 3D effect. Mix in some upside down staircases at the top of each pillar, and make sure that your door has a couple of staircases at the top of each corner. Now, as we go round the build once more, we fill in each of these windows in exactly the same style, with the glass panes, the full glass block, the terracotta, and the buttons. You can of course change any of these colors if you wish, or make this even bigger. It's very extendable. And again on this side as well. The only side that is going to be slightly different is the one that has a bit more support in it. We're only going to have 2 windows, and we're going to add an extra bit of dark oak and place the windows as you see right there. Now we need to take our dark prismarine block and place it at a right angle to this corner right here, and create a 2x2 pillar that goes just 1 block above our dark oak planks. We then need to go all the way to the other side of this side of the wall and do exactly the same thing, connecting it again at that corner with another 2x2 pillar, raising it up 1 block above. Now we need to connect these 2 pillars up together all the way across the top of this wall, making sure it has an overhang at least 1 block over the bit that juts out, and 2 above the windows. I actually made the windows a little bit lower so that they're 3 blocks high, and added another layer of dark prismarine just underneath. It's because of the style of this build. Then we want to run the dark prismarine all the way around on the outside of our dark oak planks as an overhang, and it's important not to fill in the middle, as this will be important for the interior later. Try not to get too ahead of yourselves on this tutorial. Once we've run it all the way around the outside, we then want to go on the inside and run it round a further 2 blocks. That means it's overhanging on the inside 1 block as well, but stop there. We do want to leave that gap in the middle for later on, and you will see why then. We're making some progress, and for the entrance, put some glass panes either side with an iron fence on the second block above to look like automatic opening doors. Now let's fill in the floor. There are multiple different patterns you could use. You could use terracotta or anything that you want really. I'm going to be mixing in some polished andesite and some furnaces of all things to make a checkered floor that I think looks pretty nice and fits in with this build. Of course there are so many options, so it's up to you what you want to put in for the floor. Next up, take some grey concrete, the light grey block or the dark grey, and produce an overhang that goes 3 blocks over the top of the dark prismarine. Part of the style of this build is having massive overhangs in very square shapes, but it's not the same all the way round. On this side, where we have a thicker dark prismarine, it only overhangs 1 block, and then the final 2 sides, it overhangs by 2 blocks. It's quite important to get this right. It does have an odd position on top of this building in the way that it sits, but because of the dark prismarine, we need it to sit the way that it does. And to give it some resemblance of support, I've created a pillar using cobblestone wall and dark oak fences, and then taken iron trapdoors and run them all the way round the outside on the underside of the grey concrete roof. And I also want to create a bit of an outdoor dining area, so I need to extend the roof on this side and create long stretches of glass in between it in slabs to let in some natural light. But of course this would look silly just freestanding, so we're going to create some more pillars exactly in the same style that we just did with the cobblestone wall and the dark oak fences, but this time we're going to run around some normal stone slabs along the top. And now to create some flooring, we're not going to do the same checkered floor as it would look odd outside, just using some grey concrete and dark grey concrete for the outside. And the same here outside the front, another seating area, but this time it will not have a roof above it. It's up to you how much space you want to have on the outside, but you can decorate it using some grass blocks along with some normal wooden trapdoors to create some flower beds. And using trapdoors, you can create a fence that encases the outdoor seating area, which is exactly what we're going to do on this side as well. You need to just make sure that you place it facing inwards, and then you can create as many flower beds as you want and put some tulips on if you want as well, along with some upside down staircases just to give it some sort of facade. You don't want to overdo it too much with the trapdoors. And then to actually add some seats, it's actually made out of spruce staircase this time, along with some fences and some brown carpet on top. There are lots of ways to make tables and chairs. This is by far the simplest way to do it, and because it's so small you can fit multiple in there as well. And now it's time to actually finish off the roof. You can fill in the rest of this with grey concrete block, and if you wanted to add some more details, there are some options for that as well. So now we need to actually go and do some more finer details. One thing that you can do is add a banner for your shop. You could do something a bit more complicated, but I just had the green with the white flower as well. It resembles a popular coffee chain. And now it's time to do the actual interior. So we had this wall different so that we could put a dark prismarine pillar directly in the middle, and this actually leaves some space for us to put a proper counter. And if we had just windows there, we would struggle to put the signs on it or have a place to do it. So using some concrete and some more wood, I've created a very rudimentary area for you to sell your goods or coffee or whatever, and then placed some lights as it is very dark in here, using some sea lanterns, and then you can use some iron trapdoors to make it look like ceiling fans as well if you wanted that extra bit of detail. And then I ran some more iron trapdoors all the way around the inside of the dark prismarine, which is why we had that space in there initially. It just helps to save time with the interior decoration. And now it's time to fill up this cafe with a bunch of table and chairs. Again, there's so many different designs you can do. You may even notice that I added a little bin for self-service and stuff like that. There are lots and lots of things that you can do, but for the most part, filling it full of tables and chairs with some signs is enough for this design. And it works really well together. It ties it in together, and honestly I think I could have put a bit more light in. I didn't realize quite how dark it was, but I think the cafe works nonetheless. It has plenty of windows to let in natural light. You could even put in some skylights. On the top of the roof I put in some ventilation, which was actually made out of grey concrete powder along with some rails along the top, which actually makes a circle. There are actually circles in Minecraft if you know where to look. So that is the complete cafe. Everything is there, from the outside decoration, the fences, the banner. It's got the modern look with lots of right angles, the right amount of dark prismarine, and it's got individuality in each bit of the walls This side in particular has something different about it, and overall I'm very happy with how this came out. It's not your typical coffee shop, which is just an old building that's been remodeled. This is one that perhaps would have been designed from scratch, you know, maybe along the side of the road, and I think it would work well in a modern city if that's what you're making. So there's nothing else for me to say except thank you very, very much for watching. Obviously I have to please people that want inspiration tutorials and people that want block for block tutorials. I'm afraid this time it was a block for block, but I'm sure this gave plenty of you out there with some imagination the inspiration to make something similar and even better. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and leave your comments down below for future ideas. Goodbye!